days of the week. That's exactly right. What else is special about this book? Anybody have an idea? Do you think you know? Have you read this? Have you seen this book before? Okay. Oh, okay. What do you think it is? What do you think special about this book? There aren't any words in it. It's just got great pictures. Actually, there are some words in it, but there's only probably about 12 words in the whole book. Right? Yes? Yeah, they want that. They want the pictures to tell the story. So so the picture's going to tell the story. What do I need to do with this book? I'm just going to show it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about what the words would say in my head. Right? If there were words here, I'm going to try to. So you ready to hear this? Can I read it to you?
Yes.
Okay. And I got to tell you, this is kind of special for me because you think that look at this book. What kind of shape is it in? Well, right, but is it in good shape?
Yes.
It's almost perfect. Do you know why? Because I've had this book on my shelf at home for a while. I just retired my other book Tuesday. What's that word mean, retired? Way in the back. What's that mean? I retired my old Tuesday.
You gave it up.
I gave it up. You know why I had to give up my old Tuesday?
It wasn't in nice condition.
It wasn't in good condition. It was falling apart. Do you know why it was falling apart? Why was it falling apart?
Because
Well, it wasn't on my shelf a long time. Why did?
Because you read it a lot.
I did read it a lot. I read it, and all the pages were falling out, right? So I decided today was my first day I was going to pull out my new one. So can I ready to read my new Tuesday? All right. So, anyways, just look at the cover. So what do you think the book's going to be about? What do you think it's going to be about? Yes, sir.
London.
You think it's going to be about London? Why do you think it's going to be about London?
In London, it has that big clock.
Right, I think like the Tower of London and stuff like that has that big clock. I love that guess, but no. But I love it because you know what? I haven't thought about that before, but that's what it looks like. What else do you think it could be about? Yes, sir.
It was kind of confusing, like titles, but like about a clock.
So it's about a clock, and what is a clock? What's a clock good for? Time. So it's going to be a book about what? Probably something about time. That's exactly right. And then it's also about Tuesday. So what do you think it's going to be about? What do you think it's going to be about? Yes, sir.
Time on Tuesday.
Something about a time on Tuesday. That's exactly right. And if you look at the back, it gives you some clues here, but sometimes you can see the clues better. So what else do you see going on? Frogs, right? So something's going on with frogs and time and Tuesday. Right? Are you ready to find out what's going on here? And then if I look, just before you get into the title page, they give you some more clues. Anybody think they can tell what's happening there? What is happening there, my dear? That's all right. What's happening with the frogs? What do you think they're doing there? Yeah, they are flying. They're going up in the air, right? So let's find out what this is all about. What's the name of this book?
Tuesday.
And who's it by?
David Weisner.
Well, let's look at that. Let's look right here. Let's look at his last name. It's kind of hard, right? Okay, I looked at. Why'd you say Weisner?
There's an I.
All right, I love that. There is an I in there, right? And so you'd think that it would be Weisner, but it's Wiesner. All right, but I love that you guys took a try, right? But you have to look at those vowels in there. All right, you ready to read about Tuesday? Or have me? Okay, here are a few words right here. Ready? Tuesday evening, around 8, the sun started going down at the pond outside of town. The old turtle that sat on the log that was in the middle of the pond outside of town thought to himself, something doesn't seem right here. Something feels like it's going to happen because it was so quiet, everything was still, but then all of a sudden, the wind started to blow. The water started to kind of move pretty fast. The old turtle that was on the log said, "What is going on here?" He looked this way. He looked that way. That You know, he's like, what is going on here? Well, all of a sudden, before he even knew what was going on, all the frogs that sat on lily pads, were sleeping on lily pads, started to fly in the air. The poor turtle was shocked. He stuck his head back in the shell, and he said to himself, frogs don't fly. What is going on here? Even the fish, can you see them down there? Even the fish poke their heads out of the water to say, what is going on here? They said the same thing. What did they say to themselves? What is going on here? Frogs don't fly. Well, what do you think the frogs thought of this? You think the thought, what if you could fly all of a sudden? How would you feel? They thought this was so much fun. They went like this, yee-haw, as they took off on their lily pads, doing loop-de-loops all over the place. They zoomed here, they zoomed there. One of the frogs, they had a good sense of humor. They actually got into mischief. What's that mean? Mischief. Say it again. Trouble. Because one of the frogs saw some birds over that were on the power lines and said, hey, let's sneak up behind them and scare them. And that's what they did. Quietly on their lily pads, they went right up behind them and yelled, ribbit! They're frogs. They don't say boo. So anyways, those birds just took off scared. They said as they flew off, thinking to themselves, what? What is going on here? Frogs don't fly. Actually, you know what they said? Unbelievable. Frogs don't fly. Well, anyways, the frogs thought this was great fun, and they decided to get into some more mischief. They decided to check out other things, and they went down to the town. And they started seeing all the homes, and in the distance they could see one home that the light was on, so they flew right by there into the window, and there, at 11:21 p.m., they saw Mr. Smith, who was eating
Salmon.
what kind? You think peanut butter? Peanut butter jelly with sardines? Well, that's exactly what he was eating, and he was just about to take a bite when he heard this. And he looked over, and there was a frog. He couldn't believe his eyes. He said, unbelievable! Fly. And there, when he did that, he actually scared the frogs that were outside the window, and look what happened. They got all caught up in the clothes that were hanging on the clothesline. Tangled up. It took him forever to shake off all those clothes and the sheets, except for this one guy. He said, hey, look at me, I look like
Superman.
Super Frog. As he took off and looked around. And then they came to the house next door, and they noticed the window open. Some of the frogs went in the open windows, some of the frogs went down the chimney. And they got into the house, and they went like this, shh, listen. When? All of a sudden they opened the other door to the next room. And when they got in there, they saw who? They saw an old woman who was fast asleep in front of the TV. Well, those mischievous frogs one of them had a great idea. He said, I know, let's turn the channel on this. Let's put it on the wrestling channel, and she'll never know what happened. So with his long sticky tongue, he changed the channel on the remote and put on the wrestling channel. The only one who knew what was going on was the cat, who was so scared. The cat even said when he saw those flying frogs come in, what? Unbelievable! Frogs don't fly. Well, they thought this was so much fun, and they were imagining the woman waking up and seeing the wrestling channel. So anyways, now it is 11:38, and the frogs are still checking out the town, when one of the frogs got away a little bit, and all of a sudden he ran smack dab into a dog. Brrr, the dog said, growling at that poor frog, and the frog started to go, and the dog started chasing him, and the dog was just about to take a bite out of that frog when all of a sudden you heard, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. What's that? It's the trumpet sound of rescue. And all the other frogs came to the rescue and started chasing that dog away. The dog's like this, ruff, 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 all the way down the street, thinking to himself, unbelievable! Frogs don't. That's right. Well, now the next thing that happened, the sun started coming up. The sky was getting lighter. Do you know why? What's happening? It is morning, and what's happening to the frogs? They're all falling down. The night of magic is over. It's no longer Tuesday night. What day is it?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday morning. The night of magic is over, and the poor frogs are falling all over the place. They don't even know what's going on. Some of the frogs were flying. They landed in the trees. Some landed on the rooftops. The lily pads were all over the place.
Someone in the chimney.
Someone down there. Look at that. Someone on the chimney. That's exactly right. Well, those frogs, some of them were miles from home. They had to hop all the way back to the pond. How do you think they felt?
Really hot.
They were really hot, and when they got back to that pond, they were so hot they jumped in and they thought, aha, that feels good. Not all the frogs were happy though. This guy, how does he look? Yeah, he looks kind of grumpy, doesn't he? He's probably saying, I don't like this pond. I liked it when we can fly. So anyways, meanwhile, back in town, people started waking up, and when they woke up, the first thing that hit them, you know what it was?
Lily pads.
The smell of lily pads baking in the sun. How do you think they smell? They do. That's all they could smell when they woke up, were all those lily pads baking in the sun. And they go, what happened here? Why are there lily pads all over the place? They called the police. They called the TV guys, the newscasters. And they started checking out. The only one who was talking was Mr. Jones. Remember eating that peanut butter and jelly with sardine sandwich? He was talking and telling them about the flying frogs. Anybody believe him? No. Well, somebody believed him. The cat believed him. The dog believed him. Do you think they were talking? They weren't. Do dogs and cats talk? No. Anyways, if you know how long it took him to clean up the mess? 7 days, a week, almost a week. And now it's next Tuesday night. And guess where we're gonna find ourselves?
Farm.
We're not at the pond anymore. We're at Mr. Green Jeans' farm. And Mr. Green Jeans comes out and he's looking around his barn. It's pretty quiet. And he looks and he says, something doesn't look right. Something doesn't feel right. I think something's gonna happen. And as soon as he said that, the wind started to blow. The hay started flying all over the place. And he said, and he saw something move out of the corner of his eye. And he said, what was that? And when he went around the barn, this is what he saw happening. Flying pigs all over the place. How do you think they felt about flying? Oh my word. Don't you just love this book? It's my favorite. So, you know what? So, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about letting people know about when you read good books, how do you let people know about them, right? And one of the things I want to do is I want to write my opinion about this book. And so, what do you think my opinion is? What do you think my opinion is?
This book is really silly.
Yeah. Well, that could be really silly and stuff. But what's the difference between an opinion and?
It's not real.
Well, what do you mean it's not real?
It can fly.
Oh. Okay. Well, I guess I'm wondering what the difference is between what is an opinion? What's an opinion? Tell me what's an opinion. What's an opinion?
It's like when you're giving somebody advice.
Okay, it's like giving somebody advice. What else is an opinion? Yes? Okay, it's what you think about. It's what I think or how I feel about something, right? So what I want to do is I want to write a little something up. I want to write a book, kind of a book review, and tell people how I feel about this book. Have you ever written a book review?
Yep.
How do you write a book review? Do you know how you write a book review? How about if I do one? We'll do one with you. How's that? See if we can.
It's the table next to it.
Let's see if I can just move it over. Maybe I can just move it over a little bit right here. Because where would you find a book review? Do you know where you find book reviews?
Find that one?
Yeah, you find one in a library. You might find them in your library. You might find them sometimes in a newspaper. That when people read a book, they put them in the newspaper. They put them in the library. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd write a book review right now, a little book review of this book. And let me show you how it's written. Let me see here. Hang on for a second. Let me go around this way. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No. Yes.
You know what this is called?
No.
Have you ever heard of the word graphic organizer?
No.
All right. What is a graphic organizer? If you've heard of a graphic organizer, what do you think I'm going to do with here? What do you think this is going to? Yes.
You're going to write some things. Put bullets and write some things.
I am. I'm going to put bullets. Yeah, I'm not going to write full sentences. I'm going to put bullets. I'm going to write a few words. What do we call those?
Notes.
Yeah, we do. We call them notes. I'm going to jot down a few notes, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plan. Do you guys ever plan for your writing? Yes. And so I'm going to plan to write my book review. And look right here, this graphic organizer tells me how to write my opinion for a book review. The first part is called what?
The introduction.
The introduction. Maybe I'll blow this up a little bit so you can see just the first part. And in the introduction, what do I need to put in the introduction for my book review or my opinion? Yes, sir.
The book Tuesday is.
Okay, and yeah, that's exactly right. So let me look up there and see, can you read up there and tell me what do I need to put in my introduction? Yep, I need to put a lead, background information, and my opinion. What is a lead? What's a lead? How about this? Have you ever heard of a hook? What's a hook?
It's like it's in a movie in Peter Pan's.
Okay, like a hook that he has in his arm. Yes, that's a hook. What else is a hook? Okay. What do we call it? What's another word for lead, hook?
Attention grabber.
Attention grabber? What's that? What's a grabber? Yes.
I was going to say something about the hook.
What about the hook?
Well, we have the companies over there.
Yes.
And they're hooks that you hang your.
Oh, they're hooks. This is not the same hook. I want to think about a hook, a grabber. It's how do I catch somebody's attention? That's a hook or a lead, right? I gotta come up with something that's gonna be, and you know what I was thinking about this? There aren't any words in here, and guess who gets to be the author?
You.
Uh-huh, so do you think that's a good grabber if I say you wanna be an author? What do you think? All right, so look at right here, somebody talked about this. What is that right there? It is a bullet, and I gotta put, do I write the whole thing? Do you wanna be an author? What am I going to write? What word would I write? Yeah, I'm just going to write the word author to remind me that that's what I can write, right? You want to be an author? Mm-hmm. And then what else could I put? Oh, I know. Somebody told me already I have to put the name of the book, right? So I'm going to put another book, and I'm going to put Tuesday. And I'm thinking, oh, I also have to put, so I have it right here. Can I mess up? Can I spell the title wrong?
Oh.
Why not?
Because you have the book right there.
I do have the book right there, and I also have to put the author's name. Can I misspell his name?
No.
No. So I could ask, oh, I know, I need to put this right here, though. I want to ask a question, right, about the author. I have the name of the book, and then I also have to put the author's name. Or I should say the illustrator, probably. What was his name? Who remembers his name? David Wiesner, that's exactly right. And so, yep, and then I have a hook, I have some background information, I have Tuesday by David Wiesner, and I have to put my opinion. So what's my opinion? What do you think, what would be my opinion just based on what I told you already? What do you think would, give me a word that might have my opinion. Yes?
Silly.
Could be silly, yep. What else could it be? Yep.
Entertaining.
Could be entertaining, I love that. What else could it be?
Funny.
It could be funny, because an opinion, does everybody feel the same way in an opinion, or is it how I feel? It's how I feel, and so I think that, I love that I'm going to use that word entertaining, because I think that is a pretty good word to use, so I'm going to say underneath Tuesday, I'm going to put entertaining, it's an entertaining, and how about this? I might even do this. Adventurous. Hang on a minute, I gotta think about this. How do I spell adventurous? I'm gonna put a question, I'm gonna put this right next to this. Anybody think that they know what that means? SP. What am I questioning right here? Yes, sir? Am I sure how to spell adventurous? So SP means what? It means spelling, and I gotta check the spelling right now. So when I'm done here, actually, after we're done, I want somebody from you, from your group, where would I go to check to see about spelling adventurous? Yes? The dictionary. Do you guys have a dictionary here?
Yes.
All right, so we need to make sure we look it up, all right? So anyways, here's my lead. Did you ever want to be an author? Well, Tuesday by David Wiesner is an entertaining, adventurous book that you will, I'm going to do this. I want to say that you will love, but is there another word besides love that I could use? What's a stronger word? Like or love? Love. I want a stronger word than love. I don't want to use one that's, what's a stronger one? Yes. Really good. Okay, yes. I think love is still stronger. I think it's like, really good, love. Give me another one. Okay, enjoy. What do you think is more powerful, enjoy or love? I think love too. So it could be like, really good, enjoy, love. Give me another word that might be more powerful. Yes. Awesome. What do you think? Love or awesome?
Awesome.
You think awesome, love, and then awesome? How about this? Yes, sir. What do you think?
Really awesome.
Really awesome. All right, yes.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. You guys are good. Yes.
Super awesome.
Super awesome. How about this word right here? Have you ever seen this word? What do you think about that? Do you think I get the idea that I just adore this book?
Yes.
I do just adore this book. And look at some of the words I'm using. Entertaining, adventurous, adore. Is that interesting language?
Yes.
All right. So what do you think about my introduction? Do you think it's going to be a good one? Do you think somebody will want to read it?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think somebody will want to read this by looking at my introduction? Why do you think? Yes. Okay, so you think about that, the word choice that I use? Okay. All right, so there's my introduction. And now, do you know what, after I have my introduction, which has my opinion, you know what needs to come next? The body. And the body, what's in the body? Yeah, I have to give my reasons why do I adore this book? You know, why do I think this is an entertaining and an adventurous book? So let me think about, well, I think this right here is the big thing, right? How about this? First of all, it's this. There are no words, right? There are just these. I'm going to put some bullets. There are no words. There's just, how about this word? I'm trying to increase my vocabulary. What's that mean? What's it mean to increase your vocabulary? Anybody think they know what that means? Yes, sir?
No more words than what you did before.
Yes, and to use bigger and better words. Have you ever seen this word right here? Watch this. What is that word?
Vivid.
Vivid. What does it mean? Because you know what I like about it? It has vivid. What does that mean to have vivid illustrations? Yes.
Great.
Okay, great. What's another word besides vivid? Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yes.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yes. Okay. Well, vivid means those things, but it means really detailed, really neat, colorful pictures, right? Really vivid. They're almost lifelike, right? Say it again.
Those pictures?
Well, I mean, like illustration means pictures, but it means really nicely done, detailed, colorful pictures, right? Doesn't it have some really neat pictures? So it has no words, it has vivid illustrations, and I'm probably going to tell them a little bit about what they are. It has no words, it's vivid illustrations about, how about this? See if you can figure out this. mischievous, and I think I misspelled this one too, but guess what I'm going to write next here? What am I going to write next here? SP, well, SP, and then this. So what do I have to do? What do I have to do when I'm done doing this today, guys?
Look in the dictionary.
For which words?
Adventurous
Adventurous and mischievous. All right. So this is it has no words. It's got vivid illustrations about mischievous. All right.
Flying pigs.
Yep. Well, am I going to tell them about flying pigs?
No.
No. Why aren't I going to tell anybody about flying pigs? Yes. Uh-huh. And do I want to spoil the end for anybody?
No.
No, not at all. Okay. And let me see, so that's my first reason. It doesn't have any words, it's got vivid illustrations about mischievous flying frogs. I want to give them a little bit of information, right? But I think I could also do this. I want to talk about this a little bit.
Favorite.
You know what my favorite part is? No, I'm not. Remember, I'm not going to talk about the ending. Why aren't I going to talk about the ending? I know. So about the sleeping, I'm going to put this. The sleeping grandmother, right? And remember what the frogs did? Change channel, and then the wrestling channel. So I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them a little bit about the book. I'm going to tell them about my favorite part, and then here's my last reason. It is about the ending, but I'm not going to tell them. This is what I'm going to tell. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to go like this. You'll love, and I'm going to put this. And you'll love the surprise ending. What do you think about that if I just tell them there's a little surprise at the end? Do you think that's okay? Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll even do this. You'll never guess, right? Until you get to the end what it is, right? So look at my introduction. Whoop. There's my introduction, right? I'm trying to get people to read my book or want to read this, and I give them some reasons why, right? I give them some reasons why, a little bit about the book. I tell them about my favorite part, and then I tell them what's kind of neat about this book, which has a surprise ending. Because for those of you who didn't know the ending, were you kind of surprised that it was flying frogs?
Flying pigs.
Mm-hmm. Or flying pigs. All right, are you ready for my conclusion? Because that's the next part, which is my conclusion. What's the conclusion mean? What's the conclusion mean? Yes. The ending. So I've got to end this a little bit, so I got to think about what the ending is, right? Let me think about this.